Hello, and welcome to Age of Geek podcast. I am today's host. I'm Marley, and I am joined by fellow Age of Geek members, Ty and Jake, and I will let you guys introduce yourselves. So go ahead.
So I'm Ty, and with me is my new co-host, Babu Frick. Who I picked up on Batu. But I'm with Multiplane Podcast. We are a sister podcast to Age of Geek, where we talk everything Disney, whether it be parks, books, film, streaming. If it's Disney in the brand, we talk about it.
And I'm Jake. I'm actually a vlogger and a co-host on the Multicast, so Multiplane Podcast, and I am a huge Disney nerd and have been for many, many years. So,
and even more so, we are big Star Wars nerds.
Well, then you two were the perfect guests to bring on the show because we want to talk about Galaxy's Edge at Disneyland. I mean, I don't know how big of a difference it is between Disney World and Disneyland.
I don't think it is.
It's
the same thing.
Okay.
It feels like you're warping to California when you're in Florida. It's really weird.
Oh, that is weird. Is it laid out the same?
Yeah, same floor plan and everything.
Yeah.
Really interesting. But for the purposes of our podcast today, whenever we talk about it, we're probably going to be talking about Disneyland, especially because all three of us happen to be there during Star Wars week / Star Wars day and all of that fun jazz. So, this was my first time visiting Galaxy's Edge. Yes, I am an adult and finally, after 11 years, finally visited Disneyland again. But it was actually really fun because it was just me and my husband. We had, we don't have any kids, but there were no kids with us, no one else with us. So we were up and all around the park so much because you can get around very quickly without strollers, without children. And so it was both our first time visiting Galaxy's Edge, and I just have to say right off the bat, it was like you were in a completely different world. It was so cool. Like it felt like you were there.
Super immersive.
They did such a good job about that, especially with the music and like sound effects. It was just incredible. And we definitely like every time. So like we went straight there. We went straight to Galaxy's Edge. And of course, already the line to Rise of Resistance was ridiculously long. And
it's a rope drop.
Yep.
Yeah, we didn't make it there in time because of stupid traffic. And that was even getting up in the morning at 6 a.m. and we still didn't make it there in time. So that was fun. We definitely lightning laned that. And but it was just fun because like we would go into Galaxy's Edge and we kind of like walked around, got a good feel for it, and then we didn't have our lightning lane time quite back, and so we're like, okay, well, let's leave and come back. And like we just kind of kept doing that every time we left Galaxy's Edge. We're like, okay, let's go back, like let's just go see what else is there and like what did we miss, what are are there any other characters walking around. I have to say though, I'm actually surprised with the lack of characters that were walking around. And maybe that's just the day that we were there, the time.
No.
No, you're right.
What? Okay, do you have insight on that?
That was one of the biggest issues that we had with Star Wars Night, even.
Okay. Tell us about that.
Special ticketed event. Last year, it was only 2 nights. This year, they bumped it to 4. And I'm pretty sure next year, they're going to have 2 parties per week in May.
Well, and I think part of the problem is, and Ty, you'll know, they're trying to stick to a timeline. When they opened Galaxy's Edge, they're trying to stick to a certain timeline in Star Wars. And it's right after number 7, I believe. Right, Ty? Because Kylo Ren is still Kylo Ren. Yep. He hasn't turned to the good side. Sorry, guys. We're going to go spoilers in Star Wars if you haven't seen everything.
It's fine.
So Kylo Ren is still Kylo Ren and bad, First Order and Rey. So they're trying to stick to just that timeline, which is a struggle to bring characters. And they're slowly moving away from it. And so I think that was part of the challenge. And they need to change it to be more like Avengers Campus. Campus, there's characters all the time. just in and out of there.
And
But
it doesn't matter.
They
Like-
ran into, but we're seeing that go away. They're starting to violate their own rules of timeline. I'm still would love to see Darth Vader in Galaxy's Edge. That would be, and a whole bunch of other characters.
Yeah, where's Darth Vader? Like,
Yeah.
come on.
Well, that's the thing. They need to understand. They're like, oh yeah, this is very immersive. We're only going to have this timeline and take place after The Force Awakens.
Yeah.
They're trying to be very specific
Mm-hmm.
to the timeline, but it's like, you know what? You're already immersed and it pulls you. Like you said, you go in there and it's otherworldly. They've built the land so well that if you threw in Darth Maul, Darth Vader, Dooku, Ezra, Kanan, like these characters that we want to see, if you were to just toss them in random spots, it's really not going to mess with people. If anything, it's going to hype it up even more because it's like,
Well,
Yeah.
and it was marketed like that. Like when it, before it opened, like I followed it all the way through. Like I don't know if you've ever watched Fresh Baked. There was a group called the Knothole Gang. And basically they'd update weekly and go peek through the holes of the fence and see what was going on construction wise. So you'd see how it was going. But as they were advertising and marketing Galaxy's Edge, there were supposed to be droids driving around. There were supposed to be aliens in costume. You're supposed to be able to pick dark side, light side, and actually be a character in the land. And when you like scanned your code to buy something, they would go, okay, this guy's a smuggler. They'd have something that popped up and said, okay, this is a bad guy or a good guy, or I need to be careful. And there would be, there's a little bit of that. When you run into like Vi or Rey, they'll talk to you and kind of tell you things about the Resistance. But it was sold in the beginning to be a little bit more of what we saw in the Galactic Star Cruiser, right? Yeah. It was more immersive because I know it feels awesome, but everybody had high hopes. You'd just be walking around, there'd be droids, cruising around the land and odd aliens that weren't even real characters, just, those species from Star Wars cruising around. I hope they get there. It seems like it's kind of leaning that way now, but yeah, kind of disappointed as far as what they were selling us and what actually that we got. So
yeah, that would make sense as to why I saw Kylo Ren and 2 stormtroopers like a whole lot.
Yes.
Which was
and
still
Rey
cool.
And Chewie, yeah.
I didn't ever see Rey. I saw Chewie once, and he was like way up top, like on the ledge. I saw R2-D2. I did see the Mandalorian and Grogu.
See, and he's not from that timeline. Either's Boba Fett, and he cruises out there every once in a while.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
They're starting to abandon it, which is good.
That is good. I regret though, like, okay, so yeah, Mando was walking around and he had like come around, like he was leaving the area like where like all those shops are, and he was like coming down the stairs and like there's kind of that open walkway. You guys know what part I'm talking
it's his
about.
Route. Yeah.
Oh, so you know his route. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
comes in one
route.
point and exits 1.2. He has a very specific.
So he like walked like right in front of us, sort of, and like there weren't a lot of people around, and I regret not because he was actually beeline, and now I remember he was beelining it towards a kid and was wanting to go over and like interact with the kid, and I regret not catching him before that or even right after that to be like, can I get a picture, but because later on we saw him again and he was just surrounded by people. Like
he gets swarmed.
He definitely got swarmed, and like people kept touching Grogu and he'd just be like, do not touch him. Do not touch. Like he kept trying
he doesn't
to
like to be touched. He doesn't like that. Yeah.
So yeah, that was cool. But yeah, I regret not like being more, hey.
He told me I look like I know how to work on a starship. And I was like, yeah, I specialize in Naboo fighters.
Is that a compliment or like?
Yeah.
I'll take it. I look like a starship mechanic. Sure.
Yeah, no, and like kind of on a separate, kind of separate note, but similar kind of same thing happened in Avengers Campus for me. Because that was the second day, or the first day was Mando, and then the second day I was a little more forward and I saw Spider-Man, and I was wearing a Spider-Man shirt, and it was like Spider-Man in like Mickey ears. And I was like, Spider-Man, can I get a picture? And he's like, oh, of course. Like, he was super, super nice. And he sees my shirt and he's like, oh, I like your shirt. And then he like stops and like pats his head and he's like, I hope my ears aren't that big. And it just like made my day. But yeah, I was a little more like forward with that one. And so I'm glad that I at least got like that good picture with Spider-Man. And not Mando, sad enough. But yeah, okay, back to Galaxy's Edge. So I have a question for you too. Blue milk or green milk?
Blue.
Blue.
Blue, right?
Did
Do you
taste
not
the
like
milk?
the green?
No, I just prefer blue.
Yeah.
Green
it's not as
tastes
good.
fine.
Did you try mixing them?
No.
It's funky. I don't recommend it.
Did you do it yourself or is it something you order?
You do
No,
it
we did it
yourself. You
ourselves.
just
Oh, okay. Okay.
Drink them both down to, and then mix them. And
Oh, okay. And it's not good.
no, it's not good. It's really
Did
gross.
you try the specialty one, Marley? The new one that they released for May had the
Nerds.
pomegranate stuff on the side of the cup and the
Yes.
nerds on top.
I did try that one. It was
How'd you like
really it was really good.
Yeah.
But it was
You liked
also really sugary. I didn't realize
was.
that was nerds in it. But like it was still good. Like I enjoyed it. I like the blue milk was definitely better than the green milk. The green was good, but I remember I had some friends that were like, "Oh, it's awful. It tastes like flowers." And it
Blue
does.
milk?
No, the green.
Oh,
The
green.
green.
Gotcha.
And I was like, when I tasted it, I'm like, yeah, it does kind of taste floral, but not
Yeah.
in a bad way. But yeah, because we wanted to, me and my husband, we wanted to at least try each flavor.
Yeah.
We spent so much money on blue milk.
Do you love the blue milk?
Did you at least get the collectible cup that you can get for $18?
The Baby Yoda one, or sorry, Grogu.
No. So
The
there's one
sipper?
that you can get at the Blue Milk stand that's like
Oh,
what
might
is
have
it?
it right
Something
away.
other farms that has a bantha on it.
I think I have it.
no.
I know
didn't.
Jake's gonna have it. Jake has every collectible thing you can get from Galaxy's
Just
Edge
within
and then
reach.
some.
Yeah. Well, and like, so on that drink that we were just talking about, the one with the nerds, that one was available starting on the 2nd, I believe.
Yep.
But right before, because we weren't in Disneyland on that day, we were in California Adventure, but the day before on the 1st, we were in Disneyland, and they had a completely different menu. And
not right,
I regret not picking one of those special blue milks. Like we were gonna go back later and get one, but we just ended up not for some reason. And I was really sad then when we visited Galaxy's Edge again on Wednesday the 3rd, they're like, oh, we stopped doing that one back on Monday. We have this new one. And I was like, no.
Yeah.
I was so sad. I don't know.
Did
Did you guys
you,
ever try the other blue milk ones, the specialty ones?
No, we got there on Thursday, so they had
I
already put
tried.
in the new
I've tried. They had for a minute. They had one. What's that stuff that?
with the mango little jelly cubes in it.
Yeah, that's what they had. That's
Yep.
what they had up until the through the 1st, and then starting
Yeah.
the 2nd.
I didn't
yeah.
like that one. I didn't
Oh.
think that one was very good.
Really?
I don't think a lot of people didn't really like
No,
that.
I'd be
one.
okay if they didn't bring that one back.
Oh, see, that was
Hasn't
the one
had
I
a lot of
wanted to
good reviews.
try.
Yeah, it's not very good.
Did you make it into the cantina?
No.
That's why you got to go back. Like,
Okay, so
soon.
what is the secret to getting into the cantina? Because it was always like a huge long line and they always limited it.
So, without reservations, first thing in the morning or late at night, the walk-up list is almost nothing first thing in the morning, and then same thing at the very, very end. But other than
Get
that,
those
you got to just hunt
reservations.
for reservations.
Yeah.
Reservations weren't available. Like I would always check the app and the app was like, not available.
But like
Yeah.
aggressively.
So
Like
the trick
Jake
I
was on
use,
there.
and most people
Mm.
might not want to do this, is I pay Mouse Watcher $5.
Mm.
If you know what that is, you go. It's a site and you can go to, and they actually somehow they're linked to Disney. And as soon as the reservation for anywhere opens up, so you say, okay, I want Thursday this for dinner or lunch,
Yeah.
it'll text me, and then it's a direct link to make the reservation.
Oh, okay.
So I paid
Was-
the $5, but because
Right.
they're hard to get.
Well,
They're-
was the cantina because I know when we first bought our tickets, there were several reservations that we could reserve as far as 60 days out. which is how we got our, we wanted to make sure we got our Savi's Workshop
Mhm.
reservation nailed in. And when I was looking at other restaurants that we could pick, Oga's Cantina was on there, but it said nothing was available.
Yeah, it's super hard to get. And I wanted it on the 4th because there is, at least last year, there was more activities. Like the stormtroopers would come in and like haul people off from in there that they don't do any other time. So I was trying to get it on the 4th, but we didn't get it till the next day.
Oh,
So
gotcha.
It's super hard to get in there.
Did you find a cup then? I saw you.
I remember. This is a different cup. It's the one we got. I've got a few of these ones, but that's not the one that Ty's talking about.
Oh, okay. That's the one.
Poison spitter sipper.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't where I thought it was. I thought it was right here close, but.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, we thought about going into Oga's Cantina. Oga, right? Did I say it right?
Yeah.
And there was, I mean, like we saw the line, but then I also had seen on the app at one point, I won't even remember what time of day it was, but it was saying that something about how the walk-up list is done for the day.
Yeah, they only have so much that they can, offer. So at one point they just cut it off.
Yeah.
But
so
that's
what,
a good reason for you to go back.
I know, right? So tell me, though, for those who have been in the cantina, what is it like? Tell me about it. Tell the listeners about it.
There's an ambiance that just, you walk in and you're waiting for someone to come up and say, I don't like the way you look. He doesn't like you either.
It feels like Star Wars. It's got like the classic IG-11, IG-88 heads as behind the bar, and
it's taps.
They bring you drinks. Then if that has boba in it, they've got a big frog looking alien in it, and it's got like slime in the bottom, but you can see boba around. He's like, this was made by our. He says what the alien is, and making the specialty drinks. So and
they have two places that you can see that frog thing. There's inside the cantina, and then I think you can also see in one of the shops.
Doc Ondar's?
No, it's not even in Doc Ondar's. It's inside one of the other shops in that little area.
Yeah, the critter.
By the critter, the pet store, essentially, whatever it is. They have one in there too.
Which store was that? Was that the one with
It's got the loathed cat sitting in its cage in the center.
Yeah, I think it's called the critter stall. I think, but
did it go in that one?
It also
What's the Doc
Ondar's Den of Antiquities?
Okay, yeah. You're not talking about that store.
No.
Okay, because we did go in there.
Critters in there.
Okay. Yeah, we did go in there because, of course, I wanted to look at the lightsabers in the case.
Yeah.
Which, on May the 4th, listeners, they released special Cal Kestis saber that we nearly didn't get.
And it's gone now. It's gone now.
Oh, my gosh. So did you get it then?
I got it, yeah.
Well, show us.
No, I don't.
It hasn't shown up.
I mailed it.
Oh, that's the one that hasn't shown up.
Yeah.
That's right.
So it's giant. So if you've watched the video game, Ty, what's his name? Is it Jaro? That was over at Cal Kestis's, and he's a giant guy, and then he dies, and he gets the lightsaber. But it's probably what, Ty, 2 feet long.
I'd even say just a little bit longer. Like you're over
it's
2
big
feet.
Lightsaber, and so we went and got it, and we were rushing. We had reservations and all sorts of stuff going on. It was in the morning. We found out they had more, so we ran back and got it, which was awesome. Ty was dying because we've been running all morning.
Well, this was the thing, guys. So we got there, did May the 4th, Thursday night.
Don't tell them the secret of the morning. Or should we tell them the secret of the morning? Dude, that was a revelation to me. I'll get back to it. Finish what you're saying.
Okay.
Anyways, we had already been running around a lot. My feet were busted, and constantly they were saying, oh, no, we've sold out. But then we heard, but they've restocked. So you might have a chance. Went back. No, we sold out of those ones. Yes, we did restock, but we don't have them. And then we just kept bugging them. Oh, so any Cal Kestis sabers coming in? No. And basically it got to the point where, we went, rode Rise first thing in the morning, then had lightning lanes over to Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railroad.
Fantastic ride.
We were just
by the way.
Oh, yeah. We were just about into Toontown, and we see someone holding the box. And we're like,
it's a big box.
It's a big,
that's
if you've seen the box, we're like, you you haven't just been carrying that around. She's like, no, they got a shipment in and they haven't made an announcement about it. And that second,
You
Jake
book
locks
it?
eyes with me because we're both. I guarantee you, he's like, "Should we go get our reservation?" I'm like, "No, screw the reservation. Let's go."
It
And
was
we
awesome.
literally run back to Doc Ondar's. And I about, had an asthma attack and died. My legs about snapped.
Oh
But we
my
got
gosh. Wait, so did
Even-
you each get one or just the one?
just Jake. Jake just
Oh,
got it.
okay. Okay, gotcha.
But like, you can go check our TikTok. And I posted the video right as we're walking out of the shop, and I'm just winded. And
Yeah.
Jake's just sitting there like, "Ee," with this box.
Remind I mean not remind. Tell the listeners where they can find your TikTok. What's it called?
Multiplane Podcast. Same as
Simple
the show.
enough.
You can find us on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook. Yeah.
Simple enough. I like it. Yes, that's Multiplane Podcast on TikTok.
And then Jake has a lot of
everything.
footage on his other show that he does, The Good Bits.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, so that's pretty cool that you were still able to get that, especially like that was sneaky and very lucky that you saw somebody.
It was lucky. Lucky.
I haven't finished Jedi Fallen Order yet, the first one. I need to finish it, but I've been hearing really good things about Jedi Survivor. Have you guys been playing that?
Not yet.
Not yet. I really like, though, how I was telling a friend about this earlier today, actually. I really like that they're including the video game.
Yes.
And because it's just, as a person with a gaming podcast, it's something that's like important to me, because it's helping people realize that it's like, hey, there's this whole other relevant medium over here that's also has really good stories and characters that you can know and love. It's just different movies and TV and comic books and whatnot, but like, hey, video games.
There's a character who I would like to see walking around who has 2 lightsabers, who is probably one of the strongest force wielders in the entire universe. I'd lose my mind if Starkiller started walking around.
They need to make that movie. That needs
Oh
to be a
my
movie.
gosh, that would be really cool.
People say it throws stuff off, and I'm like, don't even give me that. Don't even try to tell me, oh, it ruined the continuity. It wouldn't fit. I'm like, no, you can make it fit. Okay. If you're connecting, you created the Mandalorian, you're plugging in Ahsoka, you have Rebels that is now going into live action stuff, that you're connecting the dots with everything. And Cal Kestis, his bot was even in the Mandalorian, his droid.
BD1?
Yeah.
There was a BD1 droid, but it wasn't the BD1.
Oh, you don't.
Well,
no. They have not confirmed anything on that
You think
yet.
it's the BD1?
I think it is his BD1, and I will die on that.
He
hill.
was kind of gimped. He was limping.
Aren't they kind of in the same? I'm trying to think. Aren't Mandalorian and Cal Kestis' stories right in the same?
They're in the same sphere, like time wise. So I'm saying that's his droid.
So you think that's the BD1?
You listen to Multiplane Podcast, guys. This is the kind of stuff like I get heated and I get into. And now I have Jake to back me up, because Val is also a diehard Star Wars fan. So when you get all of us and we start deep diving into it, oh my goodness.
Gosh.
You can't tell me you can't connect the Force Unleashed. You can't tell me you can't do it. And they have to.
Yeah, you can. And they should, because it's the story. Those stories are amazing.
Mm-hmm.
You want a fat cash grab? You need to seriously make the Force Unleashed into a series, a movie.
And
I don't care.
The thing is, the characters are made after real people. Those people exist. It's not like characters they just drew. They're people that you could actually have be the actors, and it wouldn't change anything. It'd be awesome.
Well, there we go. I hope to see that. That would be awesome. Honestly, I'm all for more and more different like Star Wars stories and things. Like, I think it's fun. It's such a vast universe. Like, why not? I know a lot of people have burnout about it, and Marvel.
No.
That's a different topic for another day. But so I feel like we should do a little show and tell with our lightsabers. We did it right before we started recording, but we're going to do it again because we weren't recording yet. But yes. So Ty, show us your lightsaber.
So let me just disconnect here.
And for those that are just listening, You'll have to go onto YouTube and find our video for this so you can actually see these lightsabers.
So mine is the first generation natural and elemental.
Ooh. That's so
with
cool.
That Rancor hilt. And then I'm a sucker for the Kash. Yeah. And then originally during my build, I picked a purple kyber crystal. Went to Doc Ondar's to try my luck to find a black kyber crystal. Jake's laughing because he got it on the first try.
Wait, tell us about that. What do
Jake,
you mean?
go ahead and elaborate.
Yeah, what do you mean?
So you have to, the black ones you can't buy, you have to find. And so when they first came out, they were like 1 in 100. Now I think it's closer to 1 in 10.
10.
So, but you get, it's a special black kyber crystal. So
like the one on Snoke's ring.
And it comes with a,
do you by buying purple ones, or how do you
red.
By buying
it's the red ones?
It's red with the silver cap. So I don't know how deep you want to get into all
so
of
how
this
do
stuff.
you, but you don't, do you know what before
No.
you buy it?
No, it's
you
a
have
random luck of the draw.
Yeah. You buy a red and it might be a black one. What's funny is whenever you buy one now, because when it first came out, they figured out you could look through the little case
and put like a light
through it. So now there's a black paper that goes around the cases so you can't tell. They kind of
stinkers
because everybody just go and they're also behind the counter. You can't just grab kyber crystals like you could when it first opened.
Okay, that would explain so much, because when I was considering getting another kyber crystal for mine, and I was in Doc Ondar's. Thank you. I don't know why I can't remember that name, but I was in his shop because I knew that was one of the places you could get them, and I'm like looking around. I'm like, where are the kyber crystals? And I finally saw like a few of them behind the thing, and I'm like, oh, well, I want to like look at them, but
yeah.
Anyways, I didn't end up getting one just because I don't know. I'll save that for another Disneyland trip.
Jake's already got all of them, so
sorry.
So I built a lightsaber as well, and I went with the protection and defense. Whoop. That's such like a scary sound. I don't like that. Oh, am I too close to the camera?
And this is the second gen protection and defense.
I'm surprised. Yeah, I'm like, how do you know that? How do you know?
Yeah, the pieces.
This is new scrap metal.
Yeah,
as they would say.
I really liked this button because
the igniter is cool on that one.
It reminded me of Lord of the Rings, which is like also one of my big loves. It's very like Gondor. This is like very much like Gondor style to me. And so I was like, this is actually really nice for me, being such a big fan of both things.
It looks kind of elvish, doesn't it?
Yeah. But I loved this like part. I thought that was really cool.
So for the people that have never been there before, you pick a theme, and when you get there, you get to pick and say, okay, this is the theme I pick, and then there's certain different choices you have within that theme. And when you're in Galaxy's Edge, it's a secret, right? This place you go and build lightsabers are a secret. It's Savvy's workshop, but everybody, it's a junkyard. They're junkers, and they collect trash pieces and things like that. So it looks like a scrap metal shop, and that's what they refer to it as. If you ask anybody that is there that are cast members or Batu citizens. And that's the other thing. We haven't even talked about that. Like, all of the cast members have been given a character and a story, and they do not deviate from it. You ask them, they'll have a backstory of how long they lived there, where they came from, all this stuff. But yeah, it's scrap metal. That's not lightsabers, because if Kylo Ren and the First Order find out that there's a place there, they're building Jedi lightsabers. So that's kind of cool too.
Well, that's even like when we went up, because we wanted to see the new scrap metal that they had got, like your saber.
The new styles,
The new styles. And that's
because I didn't realize there were like drawers there that you could just look at. Yeah.
We walked up and we were very inconspicuous. We're like, so we heard you got some new scrap metal. Oh yeah, here, check it out.
That's amazing.
It's fun to play. It's fun. The cast members are all, and there's a couple of them that are already starting to like become famous because of how into it they are and how much they play it up, and it's super fun. When you go talk to them, and they've kind of added onto their costume stuff. They've added pieces and stuff as they build their character. So it's really, really cool.
That's
So,
way
like,
fun.
if I was a cast member, my job I'd be gunning for is in Savis. I would sell that. Like,
Oh my
you know how
gosh.
much I would get. I'm gonna probably, you know, if you follow our YouTube or TikTok, I'm gonna probably post a video if I were a Batuan citizen and I worked in Savi's workshop. I will probably recite word for word the script and I will sell that. And you'll be like, you know what? This guy should be working in Galaxy's Edge. Like,
They just hand you the job. Here you go.
they just hand me, well, hey, look at what happened to the guy who, you know, made Luke Skywalker look better CGI.
Oh
It's
my
true.
gosh.
Yeah.
Well, and like, yeah, back to like kind of the secrecy of the shop and everything, because there was a point, it was after we had made our lightsabers, we had seen Kylo Ren and his stormtroopers, that's part of their route as well. You guys already know that.
We have it all like
You guys
down to
already
a
know.
time thing.
But I started noticing because yeah, I saw him there a couple of times on that third day. But anyways, yeah, he was like interrogating like the citizens there and trying to be like, I heard, you know, da da da. And so like they put on like a whole show, and that was actually kind of cool because I was like, I know what happens there. I have to show you guys though too my husband's lightsaber. So again, those that are just listening to the podcast, you need to go onto our YouTube so you can see these. But yes, what gen is this, you guys?
That's the second gen.
That's the second
power
gen.
control.
Yeah, and I've waited. So I have bought a lot of the legacy lightsabers, which are ones you can buy in Doc Ondars, which are ones that go to the films. You know, they're ones for characters. They're called the legacy lightsabers. So I have not built one. I've been in there and I filmed my son building his, but I have not built one for myself. But I've been building it in my brain and planning for it. And it actually looks a lot like that one. So
which
nice.
His son Jack also has a Gen 1 natural elemental hilt, but it looks completely different from mine. That's the fun thing about these is that they can come from the same kit essentially, but the variations with them, you can have the same kit and walk out with a completely different saber from someone else.
Oh yeah. Well, and I actually changed mine up because this piece here and this piece here, where they had it laid out, were actually swapped. And I liked this one with the design down here because this one, there's just more design on the bottom. I liked it more on the bottom rather than the top. So I switched them.
Yeah.
So again, like you can, like, especially some of those pieces that are, you know, kind of interchangeable, you can do that and just like totally make it your own.
And these ones that are, for you guys that have never seen them or handled them, they're not like the cheap ones you'd see in the Disney store or anywhere that are plastic. You know what I mean? Because most people, I think, especially went like 20 years ago, you could go build them in a lot of places and you build all these little plastic pieces and they were kind of junky. These are actually metal. They're all metal pieces and they're heavy. Once you have them built, it's a heavy piece of equipment.
Well, so just to kind of compare, I do like saber dueling and training with mine. I have one that I've bought that, I had it with us. If you saw some of our pictures, my green saber, that one is a smaller, lighter handle that, you know, I can really wave it around, roll my wrist with it. This one, I can kind of do some moves with it, but the weight on these kind of prevents me and kind of how I can hold it. My other one, I have a really good firm grip. This one, I'm trying to also not drop it because it was $350. So
yeah, I know. I was very pleasantly surprised, like when they first started handing us the when we were in the workshop and they started handing us all the pieces. I like lifted one up and I'm like, oh,
that's got some weight.
That is hefty. And I was like, okay,
they're good. They're quality stuff.
And I'm like, this is way more worth my money. And even just like the whole production that they put on while you're building your lightsaber and like afterwards, and they like give you like a carrying case and even they give you like that little enamel pin that goes along with the style that you choose, and you get to keep that. And like, I feel like you really get your money's worth for this, you know, because it's also part of the experience. It's
Yep.
definitely part of the production, or you know what I mean? Like
The
it's
thing I think that catches everybody as soon, and Marley, you can probably, since it was your first time there, the thing that catches you off guard so much is, yeah, you're expecting that little bit of magic that Disney puts into it with their details and the cues, the storytelling, but this one, the devil is really in the details on this thing. So anyone who has worked in film especially will walk in from the rock work, Jake's favorite part, the rock work.
I'm a prop guy
and a set kind of, and that's,
Mhm.
I went to school for cinema effects, so I have a little bit of dabbling in there, and I'm like, the time that they took to sit and make some of the stuff, and it's even like using R2's original treads in the concrete as you're walking around. The small
wow.
details and different, so next time you're there, look on the ground and you will see R2's treads. Those are the original treads from the R2 unit in the original movies
Huh.
that they rolled around the
Wow.
park.
That's way cool.
There's all sorts of Easter eggs and stuff too.
Yeah,
So,
there's Easter eggs. Just everything is flawless to where it literally transports you.
we haven't even talked about the digital part that they've set up. One of my kids is really, really into it, and just she could spend all day in Galaxy's Edge because you can actually
bounty hunting and stuff. Yeah,
bounty hunting, and then she also goes and like breaks the codes. She makes the Millennium Falcon make noise and blow smoke, and you can do all this stuff on your phone. Yeah, so there's a whole bunch of stuff, and you can go different levels of bounty hunting and different characters and stuff. We didn't even talk about like that side, and it actually just expanded. Right now they got the magic bands and things. They expanded that.
Yeah.
So do you have to have a magic band in order to do that stuff?
No.
Cell phone.
You can do it on your Play Disney app.
Oh, okay.
On your phone.
Yeah, I loved how there were a couple of cast members who, I don't even remember what the scenario was, but they I was holding my phone and like asking a question or something, and they're like, "Yeah, your data pad there," and I'm like, "Yes."
The best part is when you can get into character and go back and forth. Like, I kind of regret not having my phone out, because when we were shipping Jake's lightsaber home.
Oh no.
Oh yeah.
Oh, me and PJ, we were getting into it. Like, we were talking.
She was pretending to be First Order sympathetic. She was acting First Order till she knew we were safe, because we were shipping through First Order shipping department.
Oh, of course.
But then as soon as she found out we were safe to talk to, her story kind of turned, and she's shared
like,
a little bit more. It was awesome.
I'm just a Batuan citizen here, working on the shipyard, and I'm like, okay, so then I can trust you to put on this label here that it is not weapons that we are shipping, it's spice. Okay? Like, her and I went back and forth for like a good solid 5 minutes with this stuff. Just, we should have recorded it. It was grade A footage.
And Jake was filling out paperwork.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That's amazing. I bet she loved that too, though.
That's the best part. And when you go in and you're like, bright suns or rising moons, and you can greet them in their language that they've established here. You can talk about, like I said, it was fun to even interact with Mando and him saying I looked like a ship tech, and I would have even gone further when I said, oh yeah, I'm specialty on Naboo cruisers or Naboo battleships. If he would have responded back to me, I would have carried that conversation for forever, as long as he wanted to come back.
What's funny is they're good. Like, you think it was like somebody at a normal other job just kind of like, eh. But these guys, it seems like they really care and really get into it, so it makes it super fun.
Oh yeah.
Well, see, and then at one point, Jake put a good idea out that I kind of want to do. Maybe it'll be on me next year. So I picked Babu up this time, but we had the idea of grabbing a few more of these guys, because there's other Anzellans that we know about now from Mandalorian season 3. And I want to like do different facial hair on them and
oh my gosh,
paint them differently, give them different outfits, maybe some
careful, we're getting into full nerd mode here. We're good.
Yeah, that's what it's for. Excuse
Marley's
me?
like,
no, I think it's awesome.
Yeah, so I'm like, I want to walk in with a full pack of Anzellans on my back.
Oh my gosh.
And walk into the droid depot me and have a conversation with the person at the desk at the
Yeah.
Droid Depot. Like we could probably have a really good 10-minute short there.
Oh my gosh. Have you guys done the droid builds?
Mm-hmm.
I have not.
I have.
It's probably my next trip. I usually pick one thing. Last time was my Saber. May the 4th, I got Babu. And then I think we're trying to head back in September, and I really want to build a droid.
Yeah. I know. After me and my husband saw them around at a couple of the different shops, because we even went out into downtown Disney and went to that Star Wars shop.
Star
Mhm.
Trader, yeah.
Yes, yes. And
There's a space that they're
yeah.
operating them in. Yeah.
Yeah, and they were like all sitting there, and we're like, okay, these are actually really fun. We're like, maybe next time
But
we
here's the
do
best part.
these.
You get really into it. There's like a group that does
Yeah.
super big customizations. Like, Jake, do you have your R2 real quick? Handy
Yeah.
right there.
Yeah.
So you
This is
can
the
buy
thing.
these things
Show us.
and you can paint them. You can
You guys
add
don't.
extra
You guys don't want to
things.
get into props and stuff with me. It's bad news. It's scary.
No, I love this. Show and tell. Show
So
and
Jake
tell.
took this R2 and turned it into the Dagobah.
Yeah, this is
R2
my
where-
Dagobah R2. So he's dirty.
Oh,
He's dirty
And
on
Jake
the
did
bottom
all
too.
that
you
customization on it.
painted that?
Yeah.
Oh wow,
So he's muddy and dirty.
that's
So if
so
you-
cool.
You go on YouTube or Facebook, there's groups, there's video. People really get into this and they customize. Like there's a whole group that have done Avenger style droids
Well,
where they've painted them to match like Cap.
this just barely
Oh!
got there. So this is in
Yeah.
the middle of customization because this is yellow in Galaxy's Edge. So he's going to
So-
become the real
he's showing a
BD one.
BD one. Yeah, a BD
Yeah.
droid.
So
That's
when
so
you get into
cool.
the droid group, there are some serious like builders in there that will add even little extra bits and knobs and stuff that it's real fun community.
That's so cool. Well, and I didn't know until we till we visited the Star Traders shop that because we didn't really look that much into it when we were at the Droid Depot in Galaxy's Edge. But we saw like these like accessories for like their personalities and
Their
things. And
personality chip.
we're
Yeah.
like, what? You can like change their like that was that like just the
Smuggler,
customization. Like that's so
Rebellion,
fun.
Empire. But here's the cool thing. And from that basic concept, we've had other bits of merch branch from that idea now.
Mm.
Because Tron Light Cycle just opened up. Sorry to digress a little bit.
Oh, it's
Tron
okay.
Light Cycle opened up, and don't even get me started. I could drain my bank account in that store. Marley, if you've ever listened, Tron is like my number one film of all time.
Oh,
But
I
like
didn't know that.
their
Tron's cool.
disc,
Yeah.
their discs now have chips that you install that can give you either blue, like Sam Flynn, or orange for Clue, or white for Kevin. Like now that idea has branched off into other Disney merchandising. It's
Oh.
crazy. It's awesome. It's fun.
Yeah, no, I love it. I honestly like I know there's probably some people out there who don't like all the Star Wars and Marvel stuff that's been added, you know, quote unquote added to Disney, especially like the theme parks and everything, but like why not? Like it's just more stuff to love and to get into. Like it's okay. You can still like the original Disney stuff. Of course, Mickey, Minnie, Donald, Goofy, like those are still the originals and people are still going to love those. But there's just like this whole other world, these other worlds that we now get to enjoy even more, especially because they're a part of the theme parks. Like when I visited Disneyland 11 years ago, like none of this was here. None of it.
Yeah.
And that was when California Adventure, that was Paradise Pier, not Pixar Pier. Like everything is like totally different over there. And even like Cars Land, like everything, you know, just bringing all of that fun stuff in. And then of course, Galaxy's Edge, like it just fits. It just fits right there.
It's they had to answer. So I think Galaxy's Edge was the answer to Harry Potter in
Yeah.
Universal because
Absolutely.
There we
Universal made this immersive where you're in a different world. Like, so when you go to Galaxy's Edge, there's nothing in there that says Star Wars. you can't find branded Star Wars stuff in Galaxy's Edge. It's all
This is
in-world stuff. If you go out to
Yeah.
the carts just beyond Rise of the Resistance, you can find Star Wars stuff, but it's as you're leaving
As soon as you
Batuu.
cross that barrier,
Yeah, you've left the borders of Batuu.
Mhm.
You're now off planet, so you can buy Star Wars stuff. But they answered Harry Potter because that was so crazy popular as soon as it opened, because you were an immersive environment, and so
Mhm.
Disney answered with Star Wars, which I think is amazing. So
well, here's
Oh,
the
yeah,
other great
for
thing
sure.
about Galaxy's Edge. This is the true like projection of what the Star Wars brand has become since Star Tours. Look at what Star Tours was when Michael Eisner came in and wanted to partner with George Lucas. Basically, when they were trying to make Star Tours, they said, George Lucas represents everything that Disney is, where the imagination, the storytelling, and the different things, it's essentially what Disney is, but it's the future of what we have invented. So to see now Galaxy's Edge come back full circle and have Star Wars legitimately be a part of the Disney brand, it just makes sense.
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, and like let's talk about Hyperspace Mountain. That
Probably
ride
my
was
second, yeah.
it was amazing. Like, of course, been on Space Mountain many times, right? But like Hyperspace Mountain, like as soon as you're going up that ramp and the John Williams theme just starts playing,
And the
blasting in your
lighting.
ears,
Yeah.
and all of the stuff. Oh my gosh, like both me and my husband were like, I think that was like our favorite ride. Not including Rise of the Resistance, because that's a whole nother level. But
Yeah.
yeah, like we were so impressed. And we went on it, I think 2 or 3 more times after that. not that same time, like, but throughout our, our trip and everything, just because it was so much fun. And I love that they added that theme. Like, honestly, they should keep that.
Here's the thing. Yeah, Jake, you agree. It's, you say, yeah, it should be the same thing, but it's probably my second favorite overlay of the ride. I mean, here's Space Mountain, Hyperspace Mountain, Ghost Galaxy.
What's Ghost Galaxy?
Halloween.
That's the Halloween overlay. And that is
Oh.
insane.
Don't take little kids.
Yeah.
It's creepy.
Oh, that
crazy.
sounds so
Disney,
cool.
like, when we first rode it for Disney, because when it first came out, we took our little kids on it, and nope. He's either lava or blood, and he's like chasing you through and his hand comes like he's gonna grab, like projected hand, like he's gonna grab you, and it's like shrills and squeaks and scary, really scary noises. You can hear him. Yeah, screams,
blood curdling.
Well, if you've been there at Halloween time, you hear him, and there's kind of a little light show outside.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, we're getting off, but he screams and travels to. You see him go to the Space Mountain, so it's creepy. But we still ride it, but our kids were too little the first time. They did not like that.
Yeah, that's one thing I really need to do at some point in my life is visit Disneyland around Halloween time. That would be amazing.
Book it. Hey, you know what? Multiplane's going to be there in September, so.
I don't know if I can afford it this year.
My one
Halloween's awesome, but Christmas is better.
Fight me.
I might be on Team Halloween with this one. I'm
sorry. Have you been there at Christmas time?
No.
Fight me.
We'll have to talk about it. It's like,
okay. No, sorry. Go ahead. Go finish with your thought.
No, you're good. I was just getting back to Galaxy's Edge.
I was going to say the one thing I wish that was the same. So when you cross under that bridge, right, and you're in the little cave section where you're about to enter the planet.
Yeah.
I really wish we kept the opening music from opening day.
I wish they would play something like intro. Yeah.
Because that music
that would have been cool.
It's different now from when it was on opening day, because we went, I think Autumn and I went together right after it had opened. It was like a month after opening. And there was a certain track that played as soon as you went in the land that it kind of built up. And then as soon as, it widens into the open space, it just boom.
Ty, don't go to Florida.
It hits you.
In Florida, you can stand in Galaxy's Edge and see Woody in Toy Story Land. The transition is awful.
That sucks.
Awful.
Oh, man.
Both entrances into Galaxy's Edge in Florida are awful.
That's
Oh.
the
You
good
know,
thing
and
about
where,
Disneyland.
this place you're walking through like trees and stuff in California, and you kind of there's a definite separation and a good transition. I hate Florida. Once you're in there, you're fine. But you can literally stand in Galaxy's Edge and look and see Woody standing in Toy Story Land. It's pretty messed up. It's like not very immersive. I'm like, come on, plant some trees, put an island, something. It's pretty bad.
They need to put something, block.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Oh man. Okay, let's talk about Rise of the Resistance now. So, yeah, that ride really was like an experience, not just a ride.
Technologically advanced thing that Disney has ever built as an attraction.
Well, and it's a story.
Yeah.
That's the difference. It's 3 rides or 4 rides in one, and you're in and part of a story. You're not getting on a roller coaster and just getting thrills for 2 minutes.
One
exactly.
is even just in the one thing, the queue. Sometimes you kind of wish that you could sit in the queue for a little bit longer just to find the little details and outfits, helmets, different things that are.
I have hundreds of pictures because I just sit there and take them through the cage of all the helmets and stuff of the queue.
But then they bring you to stand right next to Lieutenant Beck.
Yeah,
that's probably the big shock and awe. Like you get in and he's right there.
Is that part of the line?
No, this is like when you start the attraction, when you go into the ship.
Okay, that part.
The character, the pilot.
Yeah.
Lieutenant Beck. Yeah.
Because so we went on it twice, and both times we did Lightning Lane. And so I was like talking to somebody else about it. I don't remember who it was, but they're like, "Oh, that's too bad because like if you had just done the regular line, the standby line, like you missed like a ton of stuff because there's like all just those details and stuff."
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I get that. But at the same time, I don't know if that's worth the 80-90 minute wait.
It's still a really cool queue.
I believe it. I believe it.
We should also, before this is over, we need to talk about tips, tricks, and secrets and stuff like that.
Oh yeah. But yeah, like Rise of the Resistance. Okay, I like noticed the theme with a lot of the newer rides at Disney and California Adventure. Like there's like that pod thing, like that.
Trackless.
Yeah,
Yep.
Is it magnets? Like what is it?
It's a wire in the floor that it follows, and it is controlled by Wi-Fi.
And it's actually
is that why they always break down?
Yeah.
Well, also Rise was supposed to open with Galaxy's Edge opening. It wasn't just supposed to be Smugglers, but they had laid the cement in the foundation, and they had put that, Jake, you might know the exact number. At one point I did. They had laid that line that it follows like a foot off, and they had already poured the concrete and everything. So they had to go back, clean it up, lift the line up. And that's why we got a later release date for Rise, because that would have been open on opening day of Galaxy's Edge. But
gotcha. Now, that whole system that they use, like, because I noticed it in Mickey's Runaway Railway and Web Slingers, Spider-Man's Web Slingers, and like I just thought that was like the coolest thing, like that. Like, again, like what you were saying, Ty, earlier, like it is some of like the best technology that Disney has done. It's too bad though that they do break down often, because there were several times we were looking on the app for like wait times for rides, and like several times a day those 3 rides were broken down.
Yeah. And Luigi's Dancing Cars is the same.
Yeah, Luigi's Rockin' Roadsters.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay.
That's why they do the synchronized, dancing.
That's why it doesn't run whenever it rains. It just closes down automatically.
Oh, yeah. I noticed that one was also was shut down a lot, but I guess I didn't realize it was the same kind of system. That was a fun ride too. I wish that one was longer, but we're not talking about that one. We're talking about Rise of the Resistance and even Smuggler's Run. Like I really was I was impressed with both rides, honestly. Like yes, Rise was amazing, but like Smuggler's Run was also a lot of fun. We went on it twice, and the first time I was a pilot and I did terrible because I was the up and down and I wasn't paying attention to the instructions. So I was like, wait, do I push forward? Is that down or is that up? Like I was like, why is this not working?
It's not super responsive. It's
No.
Well, here's
pretty
the cool
lag
thing. Like, and Marley, you might appreciate this because of your other show, Cutscenes and Cupcakes. Disney literally created its own gaming engine to create the effects in Smuggler's Run.
Oh.
Yep.
Their
That's
own gaming
really cool.
engine to give you all that cinematic experience that you're doing.
Yeah.
They said there wasn't something on the market, so we're going to base it off this and make it better.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, because that was also part of the whole experience was just the visuals. Like even if you were crashing into stuff and doing terrible and making your engineers work really hard at pressing all those buttons,
fixing it.
It's literally just a big video game that, you're pressing buttons and they created their own game engine for it. So
yeah. And I think I was like, I think my controls or something were like inverted because like right before, like the week before Disneyland, sorry, total tangent, but I've been playing Horizon Forbidden West, the DLC Burning Shores. And when you fly around on like, cause you can fly around on this like big bird guy, and to go up or to dive down, it's like not the controls you think it would be. And yes, I realize I can probably change that in the settings, but now I'm just too used to it in the game. And so I wonder if when I was doing Smuggler's Run, I was like, wait, I did forward. Shouldn't that be up or like, I don't know. I think it just totally messed me up. But then I also did the engineer role too. And that one was fun too, because I feel like in that one you got to see more of what was going on in the rest of the ride. Because you don't do anything except just sit there and press buttons.
Yep.
it was fun. On one of our rides, we had a brand new young pilot who had never flown the Falcon before. And it was...
You mean a child? Is that what you mean by young?
Yeah. Yes, we had a child. Child.
Youngling.
Child pilot.
There was a youngling flying.
Oh my gosh.
There's a Wookiee mode for that too. If you get everybody in there on the
Press
same
their-
page and they do a certain sequence with the buttons, then the guy talking to you instead of Hondo is Chewie.
Chewbacca the entire time.
Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, just another thing that they think about. Like,
But here's the thing.
it's
There
cool.
are multiple levels on Smuggler's Run. Wookiee mode is just the first one that we have been able to find,
What?
track. The Imagineers have even come out and stated, there are multiple ways that you can play this game. We just have not figured it out yet.
Oh, so they're you mean we, like us, the people.
Us.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, okay.
like Dick said, everyone in the cockpit has to press a button in a certain sequence, and that's how Chewbacca comes on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So there's more sequences that you can play that we have not figured out yet.
Why?
And I'm curious,
why won't they tell us
what
or
the
give
next
us a
one
hint?
would be.
It's kind of cool as it gets revealed over time, right?
Yeah, it's like the next one could be, Han talking to you, or
and they've done that everywhere.
Yeah.
Like we were showing Ty because we have the holocrons.
Yeah.
You know what those are? The little pyramid thing in Doc Ondars and the square thing. One's like Sith, the one's Jedi.
I don't really understand what those are, to be honest.
So and
watch more Star Wars.
Yeah, they're Star Wars stuff, but but you stack them. You can stack them, and nobody knows, but you put them together, and they do something different. They actually turn purple, and a specific character that is both dark and light, called the Bindu, comes on and talks. And it's actually what's his name? John Rhys Davis.
Mm-hmm.
It's Gimli comes on and starts talking as the Bindu in through those, and then I did get the Wayfinder. Ty, that thing is cool. Have you looked into that any further?
Yeah. So the Wayfinder was one of the new releases again for
it
May
just
the 4th.
came out on May the 4th.
And you can
It
either get
is
a light
cool.
one or a dark one. But yeah, you can attach it to a kyber crystal and it will give you different things, kind of like the holocrons. You put the different holocrons inside, you can have different Jedi and Sith masters give you messages. So
Oh,
same thing with
wow.
this new Wayfinder. It gives you different things by attaching it to different crystals. But the Bendu thing was super cool.
That
Putting
does
them
sound
together.
really cool. I love just like all the just like little details, and yeah, like for people who are super, super casual Star Wars fans, to those of us that are kind of in the middle, like me, I feel like I'm kind of somewhere in the middle. To those that are like you guys, know so much about Star Wars. And like I feel like there's something for everyone. Like I've talked to several people about about my visit to Galaxy's Edge, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I'm not into Star Wars at all, but I think it's amazing. Like it's so much fun, and I love the rides, I love the immersion." Da 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 da. So I feel like there's something there for everyone
And
to
There
enjoy.
you go, Ty.
But yeah,
Yes, show us the
so
thing.
there's our
There's
Wayfinder.
that. Let's see if it'll
Find
I can get
its
it to turn
little
on.
connection right there.
Yeah. So I want it to talk. I'm still playing with it and figuring it out.
But the other thing that Galaxy's Edge does that's really cool, it breaks that one rule of, hey, you can't dress up in the parks. Because if you're in Jedi robes or any kind of Star Wars attire as an adult, you're in.
It's waking up. Sorry.
No, you're okay. You're okay.
It lights up
Oh, it's green.
and it changes colors, but let's see if I can get it to talk. I think it's supposed to be a map. I don't know how much you guys want to.
Is that
Oh my
the opening
goodness.
to Age of Geek?
I think so.
Is that the map on that side? Do you see it?
Yep.
And then it's got different phrases and talks, but
Oh.
it's this kyber crystal that I'm using is one from like the opening week. So how did they program all that? I don't know.
That's
So this kyber
amazing.
crystal's what, 5 years old?
Yeah.
And this came out this week, and it's a new thing. And
Serena, with a mountainous world located amid a scattering of wealthy planets just off the muddy hiding-away trade route in the galaxy's
and
outer
all the
rim.
kyber crystals are different. And you pull it away and put it back, and it says more stuff. They all have several phrases to them, and there's a white version of this too. So pretty crazy.
That's really cool. That is really cool. Okay, wait. I thought you couldn't wear stuff.
No.
There's
Star Wars.
There's a little bit of rules, but your cape can't drag on the ground. That's the biggest one, I think. And you can't wear a mask. Everything else is
Oh.
that right?
Yeah.
Ty?
Galaxy's Edge slightly breaks that rule because you can't wear a pirate out. Adults, and this is adults, 10, I think 13 and up, cannot wear any kind of a costume in the park.
Right. Yeah, I did know that, but
unless it is Jedi robes, Sith robes, anything pretty much Star Wars now is acceptable, with the few, little rules like Jake just said. You can't have your cloak dragging on the ground. You can't be fully covering your face with a full mask.
You also cannot be really good at looking like a specific character.
Yeah.
They can't mistake you as a cast member.
Right.
So I know people that have gone and shown up as like even comic book Star Wars characters, but went full decked out and looked just like them. And the cast members were like, okay, you're Professor, you can't, you got to go change your clothes. You can't be out here like that, because then people think they're cast members and they're, you can't go representing Disney. So that's another one that's kind of a no-no.
Exactly. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I guess I didn't realize that. I love that it's just kind of funny. Like the only exception to the rule for adults is being able to dress up for Star Wars.
Yeah. It's funny,
Dang
but
right.
it's the thing. Yeah.
Oh man, that's okay. I didn't want to wear a giant yellow ball gown into Disneyland anyways, so
yeah, you did.
It's fine.
Yeah, you did.
Okay, I didn't see a single Disney princess.
It's because you need to go over in their area.
Yeah, did you go over to what is that called even now? It's the fairy.
Oh, the fairy grotto or something?
No, that's the fairies. That's actually Tinkerbell and her friends.
The opposite side.
It's if you're facing the castle from Main Street, it's on the left.
Oh, yeah, I never went over there.
fantasy parade, fantasy
meetings is
maybe.
But all the princesses back in there, there's for the most part.
Yeah, because me and my husband aren't really parade people, so we never stopped to watch the parade, but we definitely got close to it a few times.
If you leave the dark one sitting there, Darth Vader comes alive.
Oh man. Okay, so no, you're totally fine. So let's talk about some of the tips and tricks that or advice or anything that you guys want to give to people like me, like maybe like a first timer or somebody that needs to go back again and experience more stuff, like what they might have missed.
Well, okay. Yeah. The biggest one that only people don't share with people that don't listen to the podcast. But it would be cool if everybody knew. So the difference is, so we're standing, this is what happened. We are standing at rope drop, right? So the best time we leave the hotel, you got to be in security about an hour early before the park opens. So and then you're going to be, we're at the rope. Yeah. So we're at the rope, like we're right against it, which is awesome. But we're standing there in the morning to go do Rise of the Resistance, which if you don't rope drop, you lose 2 hours of your day, or you pay $20 to fast pass it, right?
25,
yeah, depending on the day
person.
How busy the park is. I've seen it 20 and 25. I'm sure it'll just go up. But we're standing there at the rope and just kind of the cast members are talking to us about not running and all this kind of stuff. And we're sitting there joking with this other couple about how we're going to do it and how we're going to like keep people behind us. And the cast member just kind of goes, "You can skip." He goes, "You can skip." And I'm like, "What?" He goes, "You can skip." And I went,
running.
It's on. It was so to see grown men and my son. Yeah, you can skip really fast, like almost running pace. You can skip. And
that's amazing.
Because, everybody running, the cast members like, hey,
stop running.
Run. We skipped past 10 cast members and nobody said a thing and we smoked everybody. So what I mean is don't tell other people because I don't want everybody to know that secret. But it would also be awesome if 10,000 people were skipping.
Started skipping at rope drop.
Yeah. And it's tiring though. It's a cardio workout to do it. But for rope drop, that's one of the secrets. You got to be there an hour early to be at the rope. But skipping is
in the gray area.
It's a go that nobody stopped us. You got another one for actual Star Wars land, Ty?
Or just like must sees, like must think, like things that you must make sure you do. Oh,
yeah,
sit back, get some blue milk
for sure.
Look at everything in those little shops, even if they're not like something to buy. Especially some of the toy shops, like they have the hand carved Boba Fett's and Vaders and stuff. Look up in the rafters and see the really cool details and toys.
Mm-hmm.
Just take your time in Galaxy's Edge to look for the Easter eggs. Mm-hmm. Like I said, look for the fun stuff up where you wouldn't typically look in the shops. Don't just look at the shelves.
Well, there's a lot of stuff in that toy store. If you go look, it's got the battle. It's got Darth Vader and made out of toys. There's Darth Vader and Obi-Wan fighting. There's other scenes from the movies that are actually happening in toys up in the rafters of that store.
Look for R2's tracks.
I would say, so Ty can attest to this. It doesn't seem like, Ty, you're not a very big firework guy, right?
Yeah.
So
it depends. Depends.
We are usually. And so we went and watched the fireworks, and the new fireworks is the first time we've seen them. And I'm only saying this because it does have relevance because all the old fireworks are a little bit more nostalgic. This one was just kind of hits you in the heart a little bit, this brand new one. But if you need to go see this fireworks from Batu because it's a totally different experience to be standing there by the Millennium Falcon and having the fireworks come up from behind the black spires. It's pretty cool. And everybody's just sitting and chilling. There's no music back there. It's quiet. So you're just getting boom. And you're also a lot closer. Like the booms will like
loud
crushing your chest because you're way back behind the castle. It's super loud. but it's awesome and it's really pretty.
You want to either right there in front of the Falcon, or there's the balcony that's right there next to the Falcon, that if you can just grab one of those chairs, sit at a table, have some blue milk,
And
have some polymorph pastry or polymorph puff bread,
Oh, I
and
did
sit
see
there
those.
and just enjoy
Raised
that.
muffin.
Yeah.
It's good. So you need to do.
That sounds really nice.
You need to do Star Wars. Yeah, it's super chill and it's not as crowded back there. So the fireworks are really nice. What are some of the other stuff? Yeah, pay attention to look up and look down because it's everywhere. Try the phone game. I was not interested, but my kids love it.
The bounty hunting, yeah.
Yeah.
And then interact with the Batuians. Like, this is your chance to actually be on a different world and talk Star Wars with someone who will reciprocate you as a character in this story. So if you're like into Star Wars and you know a bit of your Star Wars stuff, and you can create your own backstory and go back and forth with one of the citizens of Batu, they will talk with you for however long and play into the story and let you actually be a part of it. That's probably one of my biggest ones, is interact with all the citizens.
Yeah, that's way cool. I like that. I like that a lot.
There is a hidden Mickey in Batu.
One. And it's very hard.
It's not that I saw somebody post something about like a hidden Donald Duck. It's not that, is it?
No, that's not
Mickey.
real.
And I was like, that's a stretch. Yeah, I thought that one was total. Yeah.
It's not real. Yeah. I guess relative, not real, but
did I see the hidden Mickey? I'm trying to remember. Like, because I swear I saw something, but
it's on Doc Ondar shop. Behind that statue that's sitting there, like
inside his shop?
Outside.
Oh, outside?
So the statue that's just right next to his door, that big kind of statue there.
Yeah.
If it's up right behind it. Jake, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah. I'm trying to tell him where it is. I want to find him.
Oh, well, there's the rough.
It's right there somewhere.
Right there.
Oh, in that
Take a
general
snapshot.
Vicinity.
Send it to Multiplane on Facebook or any of our socials and be like, hey, I found it.
There it is.
I love it. Overall, like Galaxy's Edge, it was so much fun. As I said at the top of the episode, like it was just the whole area. I liked how separated it was from the rest of the park. And it was fun to be able to just like kind of keep going back and forth there. And like when we wanted a chill, like let's sit down and take a rest, drink one of those funny little circular Cokes that they have in those little bottles.
Those are also awesome to get.
I did get one of those. And just kind of just chill. Like we were like, well, let's go up to Galaxy's Edge. Like, so that was kind of our fun experience up there. It was amazing. And I should have mentioned this too. My other favorite part was after we had built our lightsabers. So we had done it at night. And so
picture in front of the Falcon.
Of course. I'm like, we're like, well, we have to take pictures. And my husband, he's kind of funny about pictures sometimes. He's very like, I have to be quick about it and I can't take very many. But like as soon as he got his lightsaber in his hand, his red one that I was showing you guys, and he was standing there in front of the Millennium Falcon and started doing poses, I was like, why haven't you been doing this our entire trip? I've been trying to get you to do poses for other things.
He wasn't holding a lightsaber.
That's the one thing I will say. If you get a hold of the photo pass while you're in Galaxy's Edge, it's worth every penny because the awesome shots that they can get of you in front of the Falcon anywhere within that part of the park.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I saw people doing that like during the day, but there wasn't anyone there at night, of course. But
you got to catch them just before they leave.
Gotcha.
The photographers, yeah.
But yeah, that was definitely the first thing that we had to do was turn on our lightsabers and walk around Galaxy's Edge and get some pictures. And I actually shared those. I should save the highlight on our Age of Geek Instagram because me and Colin had posted because Colin was also at Galaxy's Edge, at Disneyland, the same week that we were all there. So we were posting some pictures, and I, of course, even though I wasn't there on Star Wars Day, I was like posting stuff. So, anyways, check out the Age of Geek Instagram, and I'm gonna fix those highlights so that you guys so other people can go back and see those Instagram stories that I posted, but including the pictures of me and my husband in front of the Millennium Falcon. It was, yeah, we had to do it because pretty much after that, we weren't sticking around Disneyland very long. And we had them in our cases and stuff. And so we're like, well, we're not going to be bringing them back. So we might as well get like a bunch of photos while we have them here.
No, bring them back.
Carried his all night
I
long.
carried mine all night and took pictures left and right with it. Like, bring it.
I should have. I know.
Go back, collect new photos. Wear something that's very Star Wars-esque, whether it's a Disney bound that has more of a Star Wars vibe to it, or if it's an actual robe.
Don't you like this shirt? My pew 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 shirt. This is what I was wearing. This is my Star Wars shirt.
Just saying, you can take it back anytime. So take it, get more pictures with it.
I know. It's just such a... I'm just so funny about theme parks. I'm like, I want to carry the least amount as possible, but also have all of the supplies that I need.
Hey, Ty. So I didn't build a lightsaber, so I have one for you to guess. See if you know where it's from. You ready?
Ooh.
It's gonna... I will see if you... Okay. You hear it?
It's blue.
What is that?
What in the Ewok witchcraft is that?
We're looking at this like shield looking thing that Jake is holding up.
Is that crazy?
Whoa. It sounds like a lightsaber, but it does not look like one.
I am not this big of a nerd.
Okay, now it's green. Oh, it's red. It changes colors.
Can you guess? If you don't know, you're not going to know.
I'm not going to know. What is it?
Yeah. I got one on Ty. No. He always knows more than I do about almost all Star Wars stuff for sure.
Like, what is it?
Yeah, now you have to tell us.
I don't know if I agree with it, but it is Star Wars.
It's a shield.
Yeah.
But it looks like one of the it looks like a Gungan shield.
So it's a blaster shield for lightsaber training on the Star Cruiser. So the front person that's learning and hitting the shots, the blaster shots, everybody else is holding and passing along shields to deflect blasters.
I was like, the only thing I could think that is like the Gungan shield from Phantom Menace.
Yeah, true. It looks kind of like that. But yeah, it's from the cruise line.
Okay.
It was pretty nuts. I actually bought it because I thought it'd be a cool centerpiece on like a Star Wars wall.
Ooh.
Yeah, just light it up.
Well, why haven't you done that yet? That would be amazing.
I'm working on it. I need a new... gotta get a new backdrop going, so it's not.
We were planning this while we were there. We're gonna buy some storage containers and like install some hydraulics to lift the sides, and inside's gonna be all of Jake's like Star Wars stuff. We have blueprints. We'll show.
Oh my gosh, I know that was like when me and my husband knew we were gonna be making these lightsabers. Like I already was having like plans and ideas of where we were gonna hang them up on our wall because we have like a shared office in our house
right next to glamoring.
But actually I have a giant poster map of Middle Earth, and it's like framed, and the lightsabers are going to go up right above them.
She's
parallel
mixing.
Oh yeah, you should see that nerd room. There's so many different things in there. Like I have like one entire wall is just a collage of like all of our like nerd art. And then when I got married and my husband moved in, there was part of the wall that was, because I was kind of making my way to the right. And so there was empty space. And when he moved in and was bringing his own nerd art, he got that area. So it's like this kind of like this nice little like conglomerate of all of our nerd art. It's great.
Wait, you ready for nerd?
Yes, let's see it. Oh, it's Baby Yoda.
He built that.
Yeah, I made this.
Out of what?
A giant Easter egg.
Oh,
Is that cool?
that is really cool.
So that's got to go on my Star Wars wall somehow.
Oh, yeah.
Somehow. Yeah, super nerd.
A lot of double-sided tape.
Yeah. I want to build something. But yeah, we didn't really talk a lot about the party. I don't know how long you want this to go.
Oh, you guys, I'm sorry. Okay, real quick. Not quick, but tell me about the party. Tell me about the party. Sorry, you guys can take as much time as you want.
The best part, I don't think we have time to go too far into it, right, Ty? But the best part of the party was the people, the costumes.
All cosplayers.
If I had to do it over, I would almost just go pass. Go look at all the characters and all the activities that Disney had to offer and just kind of in passing go, cool, cool, cool. And then go back and because hanging out with all the people
in Batu,
because we basically talking to each other, and it was funny because the people that were dressed like rebels would kind of gravitate together and be all taking pictures in groups, but everybody was just talking, going, "Oh, that's awesome! How'd you do that?" I think it was probably like Comic-Cons or the bands were, but that was the best part, was just the cool people and what they'd done in their costumes and every kind of with common interests. That was awesome. All the Disney stuff, that's for a different podcast, because I think there's a lot of things they could change and improve. With the after hour parties, I put everything against Oogie Boogie. And if you've been to Oogie Boogie, that is amazing. They do
Marley, Halloween,
an exceptional job at Oogie Boogie, the Oogie Boogie Bash. Because this year I was able to go to the Not So Scary in Florida, and it isn't Oogie Boogie. California does such a good job at that party. And so I weighed this against that. So it didn't fare very well, but the people were just amazing. That part was so awesome.
Well, that's the thing. I had people who were trying to compare this party to Oogie Boogie Bash. And I'm like, there's no way.
No.
Boogie Bash is like one of the best things Disney has ever come up with.
But they could do it.
They could. The possibility totally is there. They could match it and do something spectacular.
Yeah.
They just haven't done it yet. And, I'm just going to plug right here, since we're about an hour and 20 into this, follow up with Multiplane Podcast. One of our episodes that we'll be recording here soon is Jake
this
and I will
going to be called A Note to Disney.
Note to Disney. We'll talk about our experience at Star Wars Night, what they did right, what could have been done better.
I love it. Yeah, no, I think that's perfect. Because I'm sure you guys want to go way more into detail about the party. So if you guys, listeners, if you want to hear more, definitely watch for that episode from Multiplane Podcast. So I just have to ask though, with the party, what did they have specific things to do there? What did you do at the party?
No.
Just besides mingling.
So there's special food you could only get at the party. There was special merch you could only get at the party. There are events. So they did a costume parade like you'd imagine in your elementary school, down Main Street, everybody could join. What was cool about it about that one? Well, we have issues with it, but what's cool about that one is you walk down, and at the end, you actually all kind of pose for a picture, and Mickey and Minnie come out, and they were dressed as BB-8 and R2-D2. And
I love that.
They get a photographer on a ladder, and they take good pictures, and you can walk over and scan the QR code. But there was issues with it. Other activities, they had locations for characters all over the place, different people that they had.
Projections.
Yeah, they had specialty fireworks and stuff. They had a bunch of just kind of Instagram-y walls, backdrops set up that you could do. What else, Ty? Oh, lightsaber meetup. That was pretty cool.
That was cool.
Everybody with a lightsaber, all of you are back in Batu, and they do a little show and a little skit, like you're kind of fighting against the First Order, and then the First Order looks down and sees
all these sabers that ignite.
Lightsabers light up all the same time. And then
that was one of the cooler things.
Off and run away.
Oh, that would be so cool.
It's pretty awesome.
Oh, wow. So they had multiple Star Wars parties, right?
So like I said, I stated in the beginning of the episode that started with 2 last year.
Oh,
it went to 4 this year. And because of its popularity, so our tickets sold out within an hour. All 4 nights sold out within an hour. They were gone.
Oh,
so
I believe it. Yeah.
I guarantee you next year they're going to have 8 parties.
Yeah, or more. Like Oogie Boogie goes a month.
Yeah. Well, what's the point of doing Star Wars if it's not during May? I mean,
or even leading up to it. Like they could do it like the 2 weeks before, the week of, and then like 2 weeks after or something. They could totally.
It's something that they're definitely going to expand because they can make a lot of money off of it. And that's the other thing.
It costs more than a day ticket to get into those parties.
It was not worth the price of
duplicating
admission.
their day's revenue, basically.
Yeah, it's very smart. I mean, if there's anything Disney does best is they know how to earn money.
But Oogie Boogie Bash costs less.
Yes.
And gives you way more.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
Oh,
but,
okay.
Yeah,
okay.
That's.
We'll get into it, guys.
Yeah. No, I'm excited to hear about that episode. You'll have to let me know when that airs.
Probably
so that
next week's recording. We'll get into it.
Okay.
And have it posted by Friday.
So it'll probably be a few days after this one comes out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you're listening on release day, wait a couple days and then go find Multiplane.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll have it all out the same week. That'll be perfect. So yeah, I know we could talk way more. Like there's so much more with Galaxy's Edge, and I love that. And I want to thank you guys for coming on the show tonight to hang out with me. And Colin was supposed to join us, but unfortunately he was dealing with sick kid, so that's too bad because I would have loved to hear about his experiences as well.
Colin got a saber too. The Cal Kestis. Colin did rope drop to get it. He got one.
Oh, he didn't tell me that. Oh, I need to talk to him and see.
So he's got it in hand, probably.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. But yes, I'm glad that you guys could come on the show tonight. Well, or it's tonight when we're recording. But yes, thank you guys. So yeah, one last plug. Definitely check out Multiplane Podcast. These guys are great. You can find them on all the social medias, including TikTok. They have a lot of fun videos on there. So make sure you go follow them and give them some love. And of course, with Age of Geek, make sure you're following us on Facebook and Instagram. And we have a Discord. We have a fun community going on. All geeks are welcome. You can find that at discord.ageofgeek.com, and it will take you right to the invite, Jake. And then you can join too if you want. And then we'll talk about it after. But yes, thank you guys for joining. I need to press stop on this, but I am full screen. May the force
be with you.
Oh my gosh, of course. Oh, hold on. There we go. There we go. Hold on. I'm doing this one-handed because I got to press stop.
Mine's loud.
But yes, thank you guys.
Thanks
for listening. We're gonna do our outro. Whee!
This has been an Age of Geek media production.